This may very well be the most important patch for Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. At least until early access anyway. And damn it, the cool stuff always seems to happen when I go out of town. Evercraft had a test, Pantheon dropped this freaking thing, this giant patch, and you know what? But you know, I'm here now, so let's talk about it. The reason this gigantic patch that just dropped for testers is so important for the game, not just right now, but as a whole, is because it includes one of the most wished for updates to the game since the art style change. An update to the armor visuals and perhaps even more importantly, new playable races. The highlights of this patch are pretty much all visual. From the new armor and playable races right down to several all new spell effects. With this patch, even though Pantheon is still very much in its pre-release state, you're getting a better look at the kind of art style the game is going for, the kind of fidelity, and it's finally in a place where it's all coming together. In fact, it's now in a place where I can say for me personally, that after seeing this patch, seeing how the armor looks now, seeing the visual effects from some of these spells and how they are unique to each class, seeing the different playable races and the reworked human model, I honestly, like, at this point, I'm starting to like the new art style. This was the missing piece for me, I think. The visual effects, the armor, and the player models. Because the world itself, I was really starting to enjoy. There's some vistas that I really enjoy in the game. The lighting update made a big change. And honestly, I was really feeling the mood of the zones. Like when you go into Halnir Cave or when you are in Hangor. I was feeling the world, but not the characters within the world. And I think this update is the first major push in that direction. The next one, of course, is going to be having some customization in how you create your characters, which should be coming in early access. But let's talk more about what actually came with this patch. The update changes armor appearances for all in-game armor and actually even adds another armor slot, the wrist slot. Armor works in a more asymmetrical way now, with some of the higher end combinations looking pretty freaking fantastic. And after what feels like an absolute eternity of only being able to play in Pantheon as a freaking human, you now have the option of the Dark Mer, the Elf, the Human, and the Halfling. These should soon be joined by the Ogre, which we've already seen a little bit on streams from the creative director Chris Perkins, and the Dwarf. Those next two races should be in by December of 2024, bringing the game's playable races up to 6 total. And while players like myself who've had the Darkmer penciled in for years are going to be happy, some of the more elaborate and cooler races are still going to be coming after the start of early access as development for the game continues. The ethereal gnomes, the golem-like Archai, and the terrifying Scar. Hell, even the UI got a slight tweak that visually improved it. I mean, just playing the game now with the new changes to the UI, which is really just getting rid of all those really bulky ass borders on around the abilities, really made it a lot better. Though I do still think a UI UX dedicated developer in the future is still going to be something that's needed to, in particular, bring this element to what modern audiences would have as an expectation for a UI in the game. But that's something that I think can probably wait until 1.0. There's a lot of other shit that needs to be done first. It's hard to overstate the importance of this update because of what it represents. Part of what makes a game like Pantheon special will always be the ability to step into these fantastic races, to really feel like you are leaving into a different world. EverQuest made a name for themselves in the shadow of Ultima Online by offering more than just playing as a human. Recent big budget games like Throne and Liberty and New World have also limited your options to just human. And the reasons are obvious. Animations and armor fitting for different playable races, not to mention all the art that goes with it, are a pretty big undertaking. It's been one of the things I've loved most about another indie MMO like Monsters and Memories, who've given us playable races large and small. It really does make a difference. And now, finally, for the first time since the art style change in Pantheon, we get to see the wonderful cast of characters come to life. Couple that with armor that actually looks significantly better, the kind of visuals you'd want to show off on your character rather than, you know, hide in first person. Which, thank you to the creative director Chris Perkins, who'd already shown off a lot of this on his stream that gave me some of the B-roll, but also thank you so much to my friend and fellow content creator Joskar, who gave us a lot of the B-roll you've been seeing, because otherwise you'd just be seeing my noob ass run around in basic clothing, because I was busy this weekend. I was busy at a convention trying to convince people to buy this shit. So I missed everything. I missed a lot. But I'm back. But again, thank you so much to Joskar for fixing my shitty B-roll. In time, I think the unsung hero of this patch though may actually end up being the visual effects. Adding effects to melee classes and casters and making each class feel a bit more unique and tailored through their visuals it's one of the small things that can actually feel like a big thing later on. And each visual effect has been handcrafted by one of the artists on the VR team. Some of these effects we had seen hints of for months and months, and it was agonizing waiting for them. So now it feels like a breath of fresh air into the game, seeing these effects actually work in the game. Pantheon is moving forward, and the patch may have been the biggest leap so far, making me more optimistic than I already was for early access testing phase that I delved into my fears and my hopes for in this video right here. Now, if you excuse me, I am going to absolutely go destroy my sleep schedule because I want to go play some Pantheon. Bye, y'all.